Salutations, my fellow dudes and dudettes, and welcome back to Tales of Phantasia. Last time, we explored a bit more northward from Olive Village and found the city of Midgard. We would have been able to go into the castle, but some fairies sort of took our Alvanista crest, and now we have to go get it back. We had to come to the Tower of the 12 Stars anyway, because this is where we're going to find the summoned spirit Luna, who help us in many ways. For starters, we got a couple new enemies here. For starters, for one, we have the Brigand. Brigand is just like the Maya we fought earlier. It's just like Maya we fought much earlier. And it's just the stats are different, that's all there is to it. However, the corpse is the enemy that you really want to look out for the most. It's not the fact that it's like the most threatening, in fact it's completely harmless, all things considered. The only thing it'll really do is swipe at you with its claws. So not much else. Tractor beam will work on them because they're floating, obviously. No, the reason you want to go after the corpses is that there is a fairly good chance that you'll drop rune bottles, and I acquired quite a significant number of them in this dungeon, actually. This is a tractate. This is actually a weapon for Clarth. I'm sorry, I was sort of stumbling over my words. But yeah, equip that immediately. That's not all though, we've got a couple new enemies. Next off we have the Dark Mage. Now you would guess that the Dark Mage, it's a Mage of Darkness. It probably performs like dark magic or something. No. The Dark Mage actually likes to cast a lot of earth spells. It casts Grave, Stonewall, and I believe Tractor Beam is considered an earth spell. I don't really know. It probably isn't. But yeah, it casts Stonewall, Grave, and Tractor Beam. So it's actually kind of unique where it's like elemental based. We haven't really had a wizard that sort of does that at this point. Like every mage related enemy would just cast whatever magic that was, I guess, assigned to them. Got another heavy stone from that fight, not too bad. We don't really need it at this point because Tractor Beam doesn't really do much, all things considered. Got a sage right there, and a Basilisk Scale. Now the Basilisk Scale, we need them for a side quest, but it does have another use. A scale of the Basilisk Beast. It can be used as medicine. This will fully heal one of your party members completely. It's not like an elixir where it heals HP and TP. No, it's just fully recovers HP. You want to rank up. You want to stack those up if you really if you don't feel comfortable for the road ahead, because we are getting fairly close to a really hard and long dungeon. Now we've got some new enemies here, Mud Golems. The problem with these enemies is that they're fairly resistant to a number of spells, preferably fire and and lightning magic. They're completely impervious to it. As you can see, my little combo attack only did so much because the Thunderbolt part itself only did, the Thunderbolt did like nothing. They're not much threat though, it's just that they're fairly resistant to a decent number of elements. But yeah, make sure you stack up on those basilisks. They're going to be very useful to you later in an upcoming dungeon. Now with the dungeon itself, let me just go over that before all the editing was done. This part was like 57 minutes long. It was practically an hour long. There is a lot of treasure you can find in this dungeon. However, I think the enemy encounter is actually fairly annoying in this dungeon. The one thing you're going to notice as we progress through the dungeon is that every floor has the same exact layout. Nothing about each floor changes. However, this dungeon in particular has a very interesting gimmick. You see, you can't advance to the floor, to the next floor without a certain music track playing in the background. That's how you unlock the door. If you try to interact with the door, it will do nothing. So what we have to do is find these statues that essentially change the music. The tablets you find on each floor do give you a fairly decent hint as to what song you need to play. There are only 4 songs that are available to play in this dungeon. We've already heard 3 of them. The darkness is pertained to the dungeon music. Happiness is related to Arch's theme, or Arch's theme. Tranquility, which we'll be seeing later, is for the forest track. Not like tree and forest, more like the tree of life, forest of life, or something like that. And then the last one is the song of courage, or sound of music of courage. It's sung like that. We haven't heard the track. We haven't heard the original track for that one as of yet, but we'll be hearing it very shortly. Now, essentially, what's going on right now is that all the battles, like all the enemies we've yet to encounter, or that we were going to encounter, that's all done. So what I'm going to do is essentially cut out every, well, obviously I've been cutting out all the enemy encounters. That sounds redundant. I'm cutting to all the doors, essentially, because I'm sorry. You're going to run into a lot of battles from trying to get from door to door. So I'm just basically cutting out all the unnecessary fluff. Like whenever a battle happens, you're going to see a cut, and the next time you see me, songs of tranquility. Now we just have to find a statue that changes it to the forest music, and we should be just fine. But as I was saying, every time I cut out a battle, generally, I'm going to spawn. The jump cut's going to return. It's going. Bleh. After the jump cut happens, I will appear right in front of a door. So you'll see me. You'll see all the treasure and the statues, basically. I don't think the statues are random. I think it's specific. I think it's constant throughout each game, so if you do play this, like, basically, here's a tip, if you don't mind wasting time, I guess. Or at least if you're, like, recording like I did. Play through the dungeon once. Memorize where all the correct switches are, and then just, like, you know, do all that. Granted, you do want the experience. There is a decent amount of experience given to you by the enemies, and the downside is that's all the experience we're going to be getting is from the enemy encounters. There is no boss fight for this dungeon. You're actually gonna find out why that is in a little bit. By the time we get to the end of this dungeon, anyway. Another tip, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before, but every time you find an item that you're already full in your stock, just use the item inset in your inventory so you can pick it up again. Unless if it's on like a remedy bottle or something, because then you can't go back for oral life bottle, because you have to purposely get yourself poisoned, paralyzed, petrified, knocked out, etc., etc. Also, I don't know why they do it, but whenever you advance to another floor, whenever you go upstairs to the next floor, the little animal-like face sort of changes. It's a different animal mark on the floor each time. I don't know what that represents exactly. And for the dungeon itself, it doesn't really do anything. Again, we got all these sprites that are running about that are just kind of in the way. It's really annoying. For some reason, I don't think it's this floor, It's the next one. If it's not this form, don't exactly remember. For some reason, one of the statues doesn't work. And it's not like you have to activate a certain switch in order to make it active. Also, we just got Dispel. You didn't see the battle, but I didn't want you guys to, like, see that. So basically what Dispel does is gets rid of status ailments. I don't know if it gets rid of like Petrify. I have yet to try it out for myself. There is a point later where I do get poisoned. It's just that at that point in time, I'm not gonna have my white mage with me, unfortunately. More on that later. Just gonna go through each and every door, see what we can acquire. Mantle! Why is there a mantle in this dungeon? We're so far into the game. Why give us a mantle? In case you're not sure, in case you don't remember, mantle is an accessory you can equip to any of your characters. It does nothing. Nothing at all for your characters. It does not make any sense why that's there. Oh, Battle Rune, that's pretty good. It increases attack power by 10%. I already have one of those equipped on a class, and unfortunately, it's not very useful for any of the other party members because Kless is the only, like, physical attacking character. I mean, granted, that's not stopping Min or most of the time Archie to, like, attack them, like, physically. Because you've seen it for quite a bit of time now. You've seen it a number of times that where Archer just sort of like does a little 360 and like whacks enemies with a broom. And you're gonna see that more often than not because there are some enemies that are able to teleport around the battlefield, which we'll be seeing later. And Archer's immediate response is to start bitch slapping them with the broom. And you gotta ask yourself, why are you doing this? Wouldn't your spells be better? Got a Rabbit's Foot, increases luck, and a Black Onyx. HP goes up by 30%, pretty nice. Rune Bottle! Pretty cool stuff right there. Pretty good. Actually, what I like to do, something I didn't actually do, but I do recommend, because you get the Rune Bottle so often, it's a really good idea to just change all of your apple gels into lemon gels, which can heal your character by 60% rather than 30, or is it 40? Because we can't buy lemon gels for a long time. Or at least not until we complete a certain dungeon, I believe. And we're at the end. What are you doing here? These stairs lead to my elder sister's room. And you're not allowed up there. Huh? Ah, you again. Hey, you're that little insect that stole from us in Midgard, aren't you? I am not an insect. First off, I am a fairy, not an insect. Second, I am Luna's personal assistant. You may address me as his wonderful, benevolent Sir Artemis. A fairy? Aren't fairies just, well, fairy tales? Ha! I thought all the fairies were killed in the ancient war of Ragnarok. Amazing that any survived. We fairies aren't as easy to get rid of as you pesky humans might think. Regardless, there's no way I'm letting you through this door. Oh, give it up, Artemis. No! What did I tell you before? What now? What did I tell you? How are you supposed to address me? Oh, fine. You're wonderful, benevolent Sir Artemis. Please, there must be some way you will allow us to pass. Tell you what, if Toot's over there, yeah, you with the pink hair, you gotta kiss someone. How about laying a nice big slappy one on the blonde guy? But this is where things start getting weird, and no bullshit. Archie's not even hesitant. She's like, alright. Arch, wait. We've got to do it. We're never going to go to see Luna. Come on, besides, it'll be fun. And it's just like, this is about to get awkward. Mid denies her. Artemis, stop it. Yes, ma'am. Who is that? Artemis, give something to them in return for all the trouble you've caused them. You're a mage of sorts, right? This should be right up your alley. It's a book of spells. Archie learned Ray. I love this spell. We're not going to be seeing it until next part, or well, maybe 2 parts from now, but I can promise you Ray is awesome. You know, something about that little jerk, something in his eyes just looked really sad. I didn't think about it before. He may very well be the last living fairy. That'd be enough to make anyone sad. Yeah, I can understand. Yeah. Are you? I am the Queen of the Moon, but you may call me Luna. I apologize if Artemis troubled you. Don't worry about it. We can retrieve Alvanisa's royal crest. May we have it back? Of course. How forgetful of me. Apparently she gave us the crest. And I wonder if Artemis just gave it to her. It's like, hey, lols, look what I found. Thank you, Luna. We've taken it upon ourselves to defeat Daos, and I'd like to request a contract with you in order to help us do so. If you want to test us in battle, I don't care how monstrous an opponent you're facing. I'd rather not fight. But it seems these days there is no alternative. Very well, you have my full support. Really? Then you will grant me a contract? Thank you, Queen Luna. Then let's do it. Stand back. Artemis, I have to go now. You'll just have to get along without me for a while. Alone. Clarth, you and I will forge a contract through your moonstone ring. Spirits of magic, I beseech you, grant me the power of the moon. My name is Clarth. And we gain the ability to summon the Moon Queen Luna. Just like Ray, this spirit is amazing. Like these upgrades we just got for our 2 characters, they kick so much ass. Luna, my only sister. Now I really am alone. Spoiler alert, we never see Artemis again. I am not kidding you, we never see that fairy again. Just gonna cut all the way to the beginning because you don't need to see that. Again, you'll be seeing Luna and Ray in action in the next couple parts. But we were finally able to get Luna as our summon spirit. It took a little bit of time, but we finally managed to do so. So I believe we're gonna end it off here. Next time on Tales of Phantasia, we're gonna be consulting Edward to prepare for battle with Daos. Until then, I got a juice.